I'm Nick Seeler, and you're listening to Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rig Aurelia, with that douche snot, as our boy called it? You actually got it in the back today.
It's always in the back.
No, it's usually right here.
A little higher up?
A little higher up.
You like it?
I can't call it that because you're too good of a guy.
You look like you're so focused today. What's
I'm
up?
so focused. I'm really
Ready to
not.
go?
But there's a lot going on today.
There is a lot going on.
Today. Got the Contis in the house. Saw a little waddle there the other night. I didn't want to say anything about it. Saw a little video of the boys. I have to tell you about that, Riggs.
All right.
But lots going on, seriously, lots going on. I want to start off, I think, with some of these trades.
Yeah,
have gone down.
may as well. Some big ones.
I mean, the Kyrie Irving, if you want to go back to that one where, he went to Dallas. Riggs caught us mid-talk that day. That was pretty good. For real, lots of Flyer names out there. Nothing's happened yet. Well, something did happen.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the middle of the show. Our buddy Zach McEwen got moved to L.A. Good for him because they've got a shot.
Yeah, he'll do well there.
Playing well, and we get back Brendan Lemieux. It's a little shit disturber.
Yeah, I think it's a good trade for the Flyers. I mean, it's a good trade for both. I think.
For both. Yeah.
But I think I like the trade.
Yeah.
I mean, a little sandpaper. A guy can skate and play the game. So
yeah, it causes some shit out there.
the Flyer fans will enjoy his style. He's certainly a guy you want on your team and not be playing against. But
yeah, I think so.
I think it's a good move.
Couple buddies of ours got traded. Luke Shen, which we knew his name was being tossed around a lot.
Great pickup.
He's kind of reinvented himself as a player. We talked about that a little bit, but good for him going back to where it all began.
Yeah, I know, right?
T.O.
Yeah, good for him, yeah.
But, bringing him and O'Reilly back, into that team, and they both have won. You bring a lot into that room, you know, a lot of confidence and that ethic, that work ethic and what it takes to win.
Yeah.
Because they've both done it, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that's huge
Both
for
great
Toronto.
pickups, yeah.
Yeah, really good. What else you got?
Patty?
Yeah, Patty Kane. That one, I didn't never think I would see him in another jersey.
He looks good.
But
man.
he does. Well, Showtime.
Of course.
Good trade, I guess. They did lose last night. I think it's going to be the player of the week in the NHL, Claude Giroux.
Yeah.
I know in his last two
he's
games he's
lighting
got
it up.
7 points. Man, he's on fire right now. But he's not very good. Let's get rid of him. What else? Flyers did make a move other than Zach. They traded Ratcliffe.
Yep.
Big body. It opened up a roster spot anyway.
Yep.
So if it did anything, and I'm not sure. Love Ratty. Played golf with him a couple times this summer.
Yeah.
Maybe it just wasn't in the cards here. Hopefully, wish him luck
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Find some success. Your boy Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, man. Like, people thought he got done dirty, but it turns out like it could be a good thing for him.
Oh yeah.
Going to Vegas if I don't know is he starter there? Is he starting? He's not the starter there. I got the big man telling me no.
Yeah. Well, certainly beats being in Columbus as a starter.
Does.
I mean,
it does. As Hartsey would say, the Lose Jackets.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Johnny, but they don't win a whole lot. But one kind of, I don't know, disturbing thing that happened this week with Keandre Miller accidentally spitting a loogie in Dewey's face there, Drew Doughty.
Yeah.
That kind of sucked.
Pretty ugly.
I don't know how you accidentally an inch away spit in someone's face, but I will say this. He talked to Dewey, and he said, I believe him, so you let it go, I guess.
Well, yeah, something like that. It's just crossing that line,
That's
beyond personal, I feel.
Yeah, I thought that was a little. I don't know. He
You
was
see
pretty
that very
close to
often.
him.
Yeah, I know,
He was
right?
pretty close to him. But, I mean, you've seen guys spit from the bench. You did it. You used to do it. I never really spit from the bench because...
Well, spit on the ice, not a guy.
I know, that's my point. But I can see an accidental, you just go to spit. And
I'm sure that's
right?
happened.
Like, but that was just like, oops, there you are here.
Yeah.
Right on your cheek.
Yeah.
What else you got? Anything good? You missed another men's league game, but don't worry about it.
I haven't made a men's league game this season.
No, you
so
haven't.
Probably
You
won't
haven't.
be making any of them the way it's going.
I got my buddy. I got a new jersey made up for Conti. What number? Yeah, there you go. But some names out there. It's only 1:00, so there's a couple hours left in this deadline. JVR is probably, we know, is going to go. Sandstrom's been talked about. I don't know how many teams are looking for him. Kevin Hayes, I hope he doesn't go. But we've heard his name. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see in the next couple hours here.
Yeah, I think probably a really good chance that JVR goes, and it's just a matter of what they get in return.
I'm not sure how many teams are really going to want to help the Flyers.
Yeah,
if you know what
certainly
I mean.
not going to.
They know they need to get rid of JVR. Well, I guess you don't need to, but you want to because you know you're not going to re-sign him, so you want to get something. But no one's going to be like, oh, here's a second rounder.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So I guess
they'll get something very limited in return, I'm sure, at this point.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, we know about Kucherov when he missed the entire year. I know this has come up. I guess GMs were warned this week about something like that. Landeskog's been out, and I'm not sure if he's going to make it back, but they were saying originally he was going to be back in January, and he still isn't. So I don't know how that'll play out, but if you didn't know, Kucherov didn't play all year, so it opened up a big cap space for them, and they were able to get a couple extra players, and people thought
not a bad strategy.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's right.
So, but they say they haven't. They're keeping an eye on it. So I guess we'll see. And one other pretty big trade, Edmonton trading Barry to Nashville for Ekholm. That guy quarterbacked their power play, and their power play is pretty good. I know who's on their power play, but they're like 31% or something on the power play. And that guy quarterbacked your. I don't know about that move, but I don't really follow Ekholm that much. But I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. But I just thought I thought they would go a different way, maybe.
Yeah.
Get rid of Barry just because of the way he does quarterback that power play. But
yeah, I think they'll be all right with McJesus and a couple of those other pieces.
He's all right. He got to 50 in, 61 games?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
They could probably plant someone back there and be all right. Just work it through McDavid. And
might
we'll
be all right. And how about Boston, though, quickly?
Yeah.
Man, wow. It's theirs to lose,
They got
I
some
feel.
serious
I think
depth.
that's my opinion. It's theirs to lose. But, sometimes you...
Hey, they're doing the best they can to make this thing work and be successful.
They're definitely taking advantage of it.
It's going to stay healthy, They're just, I think it's the biggest thing.
I was really shocked they got Bertuzzi from Detroit, but
great pickup.
Yeah, it was a really good pickup, I think. So that's about it, man.
Well, we'll talk about your boy Jakey.
Yeah, well, his contract got moved. Maybe he'll come back and play now because he can golf a lot.
Yeah,
in Arizona, and he loves to do that. But I texted him. I haven't heard back from him because it was like 4 a.m. there. But he could have still been out.
Yeah,
Jakey. But no, I haven't heard back from him. Of course, I haven't looked at my phone either for the last couple hours. But
is it pretty much that he's done?
See, that's the way
bearing the contract.
That's what they're saying. He didn't tell me that personally, so I don't want to say that. But what I've been reading is that they're basically, taking that money on.
Tough situation. Does he actually have to go report, or how does that work?
I don't know. Baller, does he have to report?
Yeah. Well,
Ed,
hopefully
does he have to report? He doesn't. He doesn't have to report. So there you go.
We'll have an update for next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
Oh, he is in check. Okay, right.
Yeah, he's in check right now. And one other little thing is Pittsburgh. Man, they're in a tailspin. Letang got hurt last night. I don't know if it's anything major. I know he got a puck in the face, which doesn't feel that good normally.
No, generally doesn't.
But I don't know we'll see what Hexy does, today. Try to help them because they're kind of falling. Ottawa's tied with them now.
I know. It was sneaky.
Sneaking in there. Trying to sneak in that last wild card spot, but we'll see. So 1:00, we got 2 hours left.
Yep.
we've got the insider head himself here. He's going to hang around until it's all over. We'll get all the
inside scoops.
Yep, for sure.
Nas, you were at the Flyers game the other day.
Oh,
Rangers.
Wow.
Talk about that a little bit.
It's been talked about a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Being around organization since I was a baby, that was embarrassing, and I can't even believe it.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I swear there were more Ranger fans in the building. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I didn't count, but
it looked pretty damn close, though. It looked like a wash.
I said I took couple guys on my team, the Rebels. I took Connor Sedlak was with me and Carter Casper, and I said, if the Rangers score, it's gonna be bad, and it was worse than I thought.
Yeah, hey.
Like I could not believe it.
All but the horn, I guess. Hey?
Yeah, and I even heard the Igor chants. Like they were loud. For the goalie, but man, that's disheartening to have that. I mean, that was bad, man.
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
So
it's hard to believe that's the state of the of the organization or the situation. I mean,
if I've said to a few people, and I'm not sure if we said it to Seals, but I almost wish, as a lot of these players, and we told Tony D'Angelo this when he was here. Well, he was around, so he knew what the Flyers were all about.
Yeah.
But I wish some of these guys were around when Mr. Snyder was alive and knew what it was like.
Yeah.
And I know Torts is trying to bring that back. I get it. And he is trying, but man,
I think it's way
happened.
beyond the team. It was a connection to the city. It was a culture that it was cultivated. It was beyond that.
Exactly. And I just wish a lot of these guys that haven't felt that knew what it was like, because they'd be pissed off.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure they were pissed off. It sucks, and it's not about our guys. It's not about the Flyer guys, but it was disheartening. Yeah. It was embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
So, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, well, it happened, and we had to talk about it. So
you're right.
Are you ready to rock, Nast?
Ready to rock.
You think so?
Yep.
Episode 107 with their boy Nick Seeler, presented to you by Curaleaf. Welcome to Curaleaf, a medical marijuana dispensary. Whether you're a longtime patient or you're just getting acquainted with this incredible plant, Curaleaf of Pennsylvania is honored to guide you along your medical marijuana journey. Have questions? Google Curaleaf PA or stop by one of their 18 locations across the Commonwealth or visit curaleaf.com/locations. Nas, let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week we are so happy we finally tracked this guy down, got him in the studio. A true Flyer, Riggs. Was born to be a Flyer. Number 24, Mr. Nick Seeler. Seals, what's up, brother?
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Pumped to have you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carving out the time. Thanks. So day off today, big day in the hockey world, I guess, right? How's the vibe personally and as a collective?
Yeah, it's obviously days off are nice, but this one's a little different, I guess, with the trade deadline coming up here at 3. So yeah, it's I mean, it's a little uneasy times like this, but I guess for a couple guys on our team, and but control what you can and just kind of sticking true to that, and so yeah, we'll see what happens with our squad here.
Well, I'll tell you this: your name has been thrown around. I know you're saying other guys, but the team's interested in you, and for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was just saying, like I feel like you're a true Flyer. Last year, I didn't know much about you. I knew you. I knew who you were in the league and stuff, but your game, you're ultra competitive. You drop the mitts when you have to. I think you play the game the right way. And Riles, we've talked about you a lot on the show, actually. So, are you like? I know you probably want to be here, and I hope you don't go anywhere. I got a feeling Torches in there going, this guy's going nowhere.
Yeah, right.
But we've had in my 25 years of pro hockey, there's guys that probably not gonna make the playoffs. So let's be honest this year. But there's always, when there's a team that wants you that has a shot, it's got to be a good feeling for you as a player. But how are you handling that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's hard because it's nice that teams are interested in you and your name's, being, thrown out there. But me personally, I want to be here. I feel like I love where this group is going, and obviously, Tort's coming in and, changing the culture. And so, yeah, it's nice that, that teams are interested, that are, pushing for the playoffs and in playoff spots and stuff. But honestly, I don't want to go anywhere. I love it here, and I love the city and the team, and the management, and like I said, where the team's going. I think it's going to be something good. And obviously these days are difficult for everyone, the team, and because everyone wants to succeed, everyone wants to win, and but right now it's kind of a transition time, and but yeah, I love where it's going, and I think Torts has been a big part of that, and in the culture difference, and I'm sure you guys have been able to see that this year.
Yeah.
Just in the short time that he's been here. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I feel like your brand of hockey fits the culture he's trying to create, obviously, right? I mean, you bring it every night. You're competitive. I think Torts and management knows what they're going to get out of you every night. And to say you want to stay here, I can see why. I mean, Nasty alluded to, like, you're a perfect fit. Like, I say what a true Flyer is. So I would hate to see you go, and but yeah, I see what you're talking about as far as, like, yeah, you got other people knocking at the door, interested for good reason. But when you start kind of planting your roots and you kind of find your groove and you connect to the culture that the coach is implementing, it's probably a good feeling to have.
Right. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's obviously, we've been playing a lot harder, I think, this year. I think I think fans can see that, you guys can see that, and so we're building and we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have been pretty pretty difficult, not so great on our end. But, for the most part, I think one thing that we have had consistency in is our battle levels and our willingness to block shots and doing the hard things. And, I do think that's a kind of a direct correlation to what Torts has brought and what he expects of us, and, being, hard in the blue paint. That's one thing, right when I came in, like even the first game, he said, this is what, kind of like a non-negotiable. He's like, this, the blue paint in both sides of the rink, our blue paint, don't let anybody touch our goalies, and then get in their face, on the other end, which is great.
He doesn't mind that.
Yeah. So I think obviously the principles that he's brought in, I think it's set ourselves up to be successful in the future. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is exciting, when you lay down a foundation of work and compete, and you'd think that naturally that would be a philosophy of every team, but there's a different element, I think, when Torts comes in and lays that groundwork,
Sure.
especially since it maybe hasn't been so apparent in the last few years, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But then slowly but surely be adding pieces, right? I mean, I think there's obvious need for a few pieces moving forward. But I think, like you said, like the foundation has been laid, and guys are buying into it. And in a city like Philly, like you have to have that type of foundation in the culture, because I mean, obviously, Broad Street Bullies and the history, and just like what the city represents and stands for. So I think we talk about this a lot. Like, it's trending. It's certainly trending in the right way. And I think that piece is probably the most important, in building from there. Like,
right.
At least you guys have something to hang your hat on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And in a season where you don't necessarily have a ton of things to hang your hat on, I think that's one thing that's been consistent is, that willingness and that compete and never quit, and so that's good. That's a good thing. That's a positive.
Yeah. I think you would have been a Torts guy.
I think so.
I think he would have liked you, Riggs.
I think so too.
I think he would have liked you
for 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Just to throw myself in the grocery divider there.
Go talk to that guy.
Step onto the ice, property owners. It's time to make a power play with your next construction project, and that means working with the best in the game. DLI Commercial is an experienced company that has led construction projects for companies in the industries of hospitality, retail, education, medicine, finance, manufacturing, and telecommunications. So what are you waiting for? Let DLI Commercial be your trusted partner in your next construction project today. For more info, visit their website, www.dlicommercial.com.
Well, so we were looking at your, you played college and you also played USHL, and we were just talking about, I'm working with a North American Hockey League team right under that. Noticed you missed a year of college.
Yep.
Were you hurt, or was that because you transferred?
I transferred, yeah. So
Okay.
back, I don't know when they changed the rule, but I kind of missed out on that.
That's what I was saying, because
Yeah.
now you can just transfer
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't
like,
miss
honestly,
time.
it's like pro hockey. Like people
Yeah.
are just transferring everywhere. But yeah, back when I was in college, I transferred. So the rule, you had to sit out a year. You
Yeah.
couldn't play. So you basically
Get bagged all year.
get bagged all year.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Controlled bags, yeah.
You did everything. You could do everything but play and
Wow.
travel with the team. So I was a part of it, kind of.
Yeah.
That's not
yeah. So I was just mainly just practice and train every day, weight room, all that stuff. So there was definitely positives to it. I needed it.
Yeah.
A different situation, but that was a hard year. Not
Yeah.
being able to play and go.
Oh, I'm
compete.
sure.
Yeah.
It's got to wear on you.
Oof.
Yeah.
It was like my freshman year playing basketball. I just got bagged.
Oh, yeah?
I got to sit on the bench now, at the end of the bench.
There you
but
go.
yeah, no, that's not fun. That
No.
can't be a whole lot of fun, but
As a competitive guy, I mean, you obviously that's kind of ingrained in your DNA. Like, where along the lines did you start realizing you had to scrap a little bit and kind of, take that physical brand to the next level?
Yeah. I think just growing up, I think I've always had that kind of that little switch, I guess. But
Provy called it a major switch.
is that what he said?
Yeah, he did say that. He said Sears is the best. He's the nicest guy I've ever met, but boy, when he switches, it's a major switch. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair, I guess. Yeah.
It's a good switch.
good
That's a
thing.
good switch.
That's
Yeah,
a good
man.
thing. That's a good thing. Not a
Yeah,
bad thing.
that's funny.
Did he say that? Oh, I know.
Yeah, I guess. Just growing up, I think like I said, I've had that, that switch, and I think as you get older as you grow in your hockey career, you're able to obviously fight a little bit. In USHL, I didn't really fight a couple times, I think, but I was still kind of growing into my body and kind of figuring things out, and but I've always had that. Stand up for teammates kind of mentality, I think, growing up, even though you couldn't really, fight.
Right.
You could always.
The cage rage.
Yeah, the cage rage. Yeah, exactly. Which is different, but
Sure.
it's kind of funny. Yeah. So, I would think, obviously college, you can't fight. So it's just no real accountability, I guess. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
guys are just throwing the, big hits, and
They're real tough.
Yeah,
With the
exactly. Yeah,
cages on,
everyone's tough in college, and but once I got to professional hockey in Iowa, where I started, you could tell that guys play different. There's accountability. You can't go running around trying to cronwall guys anymore.
Yeah,
right. There's
Cronwall.
you're gonna have to answer the bell. So I remember I think I fought my first pro fight. I had the mindset of just kind of like I want to get into it, and early, kind of get that experience, because I think that's the best way to learn
Yeah.
how to fight. And you can probably attest to this, is that getting into fights is the best way to learn how to fight.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
So
That's the truth.
yeah, and so I think it just kind of went from there. But I think my mindset's never really changed in the sense of always wanted to stand up for yourself, but stand up for your teammates more importantly. And I don't know if you know Jeremy Clark. If you heard the name, he works for LA Kings, but
I've heard the name.
yeah,
What is that?
I'm not
What's
sure if
he
I
do?
know who he is.
he's so he owns back where I train in the summers in Minnesota, he owns Minnesota Top Team.
Okay.
And it's boxing, jiu-jitsu,
right.
and CrossFit gym. And but he primarily works with, he works in development for LA, but he's been with LA for a long time. But he does fighting, hockey fighting specific training in the summers with us. And I've been seeing him for long time now, which has been great. I mean, he's so we'll do a normal hockey workout. You guys get it, and in the summer, and then usually a couple times a week we'll do hockey specific grabs and holds, and we'll do boxing and stuff like that. And so that helped me also have confidence in myself and kind of how I want to approach it. And but again, like getting into scraps is the best way to learn.
Yeah, that's the
you can always have a plan, but it's
the plan's out the door once you get
I'm
smoke in the
glad you
nose.
both just said that, because I was just going to tell you a quick story, Seal. So when Riles was with the Flyers, he also weighed 40 pounds more than he does now. Just so I like to bring that up a lot.
Yeah, you do.
And he doesn't weigh. He's
lean, man.
You are
like, just under 200.
Fuck, man, you fight some big men, but and do well.
He's efficient.
But Riles did a lot of what you're talking about. I remember you guys used to have, someone used to come over, but
Marco Prazzo.
yes, and then I remember being upstairs working out, and Riles was going up, and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, we got some guys coming over. They were police officers from Camden.
The big Camden
so
cops.
I'm like, what are you guys gonna do? He's like, we're just sparring. So I'm like, oh, they're just gonna be messing around, Yeah. So I go back up there and I see Riles, and there are these absolute animals, mutants. These men were so big, and I'm like, and they start fighting, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? You guys are like going at it like 85. Oh, it's only like 85-90%. I would have been sleeping for sure, obviously. They look like WWE wrestlers, man.
Well, they are huge guys.
They were big, and so...
What kind of fighting what were you doing?
Well, we're kind of doing what you were talking about. Like it was like a little bit of dirty boxing, so we'd wear like the jitsu gi.
Yeah, the gis,
Yeah, and then obviously representing the jersey, and then just getting in tight and swimming. Like it would start off with like no hand combat into swimming and kind of positioning, and then Marco would kind of ring the bell, like now you guys are fighting for a minute, and then so we like it was supposed to be like 89%, but you know how it goes. Like you get hit, and then you're like, you shake your head, you want to hit the guy.
Was that harder than we agreed upon?
Yeah. These guys,
we're doing that.
Yeah. Oh, you want to play like that? Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm getting out of here.
But I mean, it was necessary. I mean, the guys that we're bringing in to fight were kind of representing like the Brashears and the Rocks and those types of guys. Yeah, the big heavy dudes.
But it was funny because Seal says you have a plan, and that was what you said to me. You're like, I'm going to be better this year about going in there. And I don't remember who your first fight was that next season, but it was just toe to toe like you always did. And I remember the next day I was like, what happened to that kind of like plan? You get into it. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. But it was funny
how that works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
but
great.
I could see, like you mentioned, the confidence piece. Like I see a lot of myself. When you fight, I'm like, this guy's like, this guy's not afraid. This guy's like in it, and he's, it's like looks like punches and bunches, and like you're going after it. You're not sitting back. So obviously, what you're doing is working. Like walk us through like what one of these training sessions will work out specifically for the fight, because I mean it seems like it's a good thing for anyone to do, right? Just to learn how to just defend yourself, because God knows you're going to land up in a scrap at some point in your life, right? I mean, or in a hockey fight, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think going into it, I think at least with Jeremy Clark, and he always preaches self-preservation, then defense, then offense. So then I feel like going in with that mindset instead of maybe just I'm going in swinging for the fences. I think having that that almost like a game plan, but like I said, you can always plan, but then you get in a scrap. I've had a couple where it's just like, okay, we're going basically toe to toe, and you want to get the better of them, right?
Sure.
But I think just getting your bearings, at least, let's say for a couple of fights ago when I fought Gilbert, we squared off, and I'm looking for his lead hand, his grab hand, and trying to parry that, so he has maybe a not the best grip, because guys are always trying to either grab here,
Yep.
or get in, grab your arm. And so, try to, allow him not to get the best grip, I guess. And then go from there. And, one other thing we're taught is, our grip is, get into the shoulder, into that collarbone and kind of like,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
so you have that almost like a post, right?
Yep.
So you can kind of feel when they're punching and kind of absorb it a little bit and, keep
Tuck your chin a little
tuck
bit.
your chin. Yeah, exactly. And, counter when you can. And, how there's guys who do, D'Lo does it so well.
Yeah, he does.
Like he's such a good, Reeves does it too. He does it really well, is that counter punch. And, staying in the pocket too is I find, important, instead of, going like this and all of a sudden you can't see where he's coming from.
That's a
and
great point.
That's
all
when
your-
guys usually get knocked out when they start turning.
That's where
turn into it.
dangerous things can happen when you're kind of turned away and you don't have your, you're not planted and you're not strong there, right? So I think Clarkey it preaches that too. So I think as long as you have those, that confidence and your ability to be able to withstand that first flurry and get into a comfortable position and then go from there. And then I think it's been good. So.
Well, D'Lo did say, and I am quoting, you had a face like a concrete wall.
Is that what he said?
He said his hand, he said it. He said his hand's still messed up from fighting you last year. Last year. Yeah.
It was just a hell of a fight.
I remember him calling me because we talk every day about what we're doing on the show, and he was like, "Did you see that? Did you see Seals last night fight that glory?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Wow." But he did say that. He said your face was like a concrete wall.
Well, he the first time we met, he turns to me, he goes, "Look," and his fingers all like, cause one of his fingers he can't like bend that much. He was like, "This is because you."
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, "What did I do? You just punched me."
No, right? It's not my
Don't
fault.
blame me.
And drop the forehead.
that's
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. He was a tough dude. That was a good showing, and you've had some really good showings. I mean, again,
I appreciate
you
it.
seem like you get the foundation, you plant yourself, and you say you have a plan, but you're not sitting back waiting for things to happen. So that's nice to see. Because I feel like this role. I know the role has evolved, obviously, but it's nice to see kind of like that throwback type of guy still floating around and fighting.
Just a competitive edge.
Just
and
playing
having
hard.
an edge is not where it used to be in the game. You know that. I mean, you've been playing for a while now. I will say this, and apologize to Braden, although I did talk to him about it, but when Braden went after you there, I was like, oh, no. That might not be the best move. Shitter's a
Right.
tough kid. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't really want him to do that. But and we did talk about it.
Yeah.
At least we doing what he had to do for his team.
Yeah.
He's trying to get the boys going. And,
I think there were. I don't think
a few
they were
fights
playing.
That night, right? Wasn't there? Because Bartuzzo fought.
Yeah,
it was
Macker and
it was like 2 or 3 in a row.
I think they lost a few in a row, and Shenner, I think he was trying to spark his team a little bit, so have to respect that.
Yeah. Who'd you say your toughest opponent's been so far?
D'Lo.
Yeah,
for sure. I actually fought D'Lo twice. Once when he was in Montreal.
Okay, right. You're with Minnie?
Yep. I was with Minnie still.
Check that one out.
I didn't see that one.
No, you don't have to. It's all right.
It's one of those you try and bury. I got plenty of those. Yeah.
It's funny. It was 4-0. We were winning in Minnesota, and I don't know. He asked me off the draw. We just scored, I think. He asked me off the draw. I was looking up at I was a scorer. I was like, nah, there's no real reason for me to do this. And then like 5 seconds went by, and I don't know what, like something switched. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I was like, D'Lo,
There's that
go.
switch.
Let's go.
There's that switch.
Yeah. So he dropped the gloves, and I knew who he was, obviously, because he's D'Lo. But I guess I didn't really know his tendencies yet, or like what he likes to do. And so I remember trying to grab on and missed the grab, so we kind of reset, and then he starts with a uppercut overhand right to start without even grabbing. I'm like,
Wow.
What's this guy doing?
I was like, how many guys am I fighting here?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
good. And then, it was a quick scrap. I threw a couple and ended up falling and then getting back up. So it was a good learning experience too.
Right.
Guys like that, and he's a big boy. He has a lot of experience, and to get that experience is always good.
Yeah.
But that was kind of funny how that happened.
Yeah, right.
It's funny, you guys, I remember, a few years back when there was more of the, I'd say tough guy. Yeah. Guys used to be on my computer and, where your stick room is at the center. I always had my computer there, and guys would be on there checking, watching fights and stuff. It was kind of funny. But it has changed, but it's I would think that you feel like it has to be a part of the game to hold people accountable, kind of like what you were saying earlier, because if you don't have it, and then we've talked about this a lot on here, you're just going to have guys running around like idiots and not being held accountable for it.
Sure.
So,
how much do you watch video? Knowing your opponent and stuff like that, or
I think D'Lo too. We always talk about it. It's kind of who's up next kind of deal, and I think guys know that who's on the other team, who's willing to scrap, and if things kind of get out of hand, I guess. And I think knowing, I'm not sitting down doing video, I guess, but I certainly watch guys watch their fights and kind of understand whether they throw first or they tend to grab first, or for instance, Reeves, he's always looking for that hand to control it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if he gets a hold, you're all of a sudden, kind of swimming. So it's just stuff like that that's kind of good to know. And but again, I'm not the guy going, before the game expecting to fight, or going into the game going, I'm going to fight. It's always it's always been, play hockey, and then if something, if a teammate gets hit, stand up for your teammate, or stand up for yourself if you need to. And I think that's a good approach for me as far as kind of where I'm at. And it's been good.
I wish I could approach the game that way. It was expecting to fight and maybe playing hockey.
It was a little different. Yeah,
it's a little different animal.
It's a little different, but
yeah, we watched a ton of video. I mean, there was there was a lot of fights back then.
Yeah,
you guys are fighting 30, 35 times a year. Which is a lot. And there was a lot of guys with a lot of fighting majors. So every team had one or two. So it was just more of a thing, right? But a lot of hockeyfights.com and
what was
probably too much, but again, it was it consumed me. The role was a very real thing, and there's just so many guys that I look back and I probably should have focused on hockey a little bit more, but it was what it was.
It got you there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I got a ton of respect for you in the role that you had. I think it was, like you said, back then guys are fighting 30, 35 times. That is crazy, and the toll it takes on your body, I can't imagine. And but that's good that they had hockey fights back then too. Take a peek, because it was different big boys back then.
Oh yeah,
you were just talking about Reeves. He had a good fight the other night against Johnston. The Islanders.
Yeah.
He was doing what you said. He likes to get in there and get kind of control of it.
Yeah, when big guys like that fight too, it is like a battle of the reach. I obviously didn't have the reach. It was always swimming in, and if there's big guys like that, if they string you out, you're in some serious trouble. So it's you're always trying to get inside and work the uppercuts, just get anything you can, you know. Because
we had the lefty duo going too.
The lefty, It
was nice. I something popped up on my feed the other day. It was your scraps. It was a compilation of your scraps. I was and I started watching. I'm wow.
The lefts were flying.
The
lefts were flying. We had John Scott on, and he was naming the guys he was fighting against a lot, and it was Brash and who's the other big lefty?
LaRock.
Oh, big LaRock, and he was because I never had to fight lefties that much, but. He was in an era where there was a lot of lefties.
Yeah.
You were fighting
the three of the toughest guys, I think. Chris Simon in there too.
Yeah, Symes. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about Symes.
Rock and Brashear lefties. Because most of the times I was fighting righties, so it's kind of stalemate when you're squaring off, right? And then there was really not a whole lot of strategy besides, just like punches and bunches and getting inside. But then once I fought a lefty, especially big ass dudes like that, I had to really kind of like think it through because you can get really hurt. Yeah. I mean, LaRock fought a little bit more like myself. Brash would really bring you in and like use his strength to like shake you and like give these pretty like in tight uppercuts that can do some damage. Little different animal, but I think for those few guys, I had to be a little bit more cautious. But when I was fighting righties, I knew what they were going to do, but I didn't really have a whole lot of expectations. I was just like, just get in there.
Yeah,
you
try
know
to
what
get that first one.
Get that first one. Yeah, I like to.
What was that one in the corner? I forgot.
It's a Brash?
Wah.
Oh, Andre Wah, yeah.
The one where he got he
dropped. Yeah, Torts was coaching Tampa.
Oh, really?
If you YouTube it, Torts is literally. I was actually worried for Torts, and I don't think I knew him yet. I don't think I'd worked with him yet, but he's trying to calm the guy down. They showed it on the Jumbotron 100 times.
Oh, really?
And Wah was losing his mind.
Was it in Philly?
It was in Philly,
and he had fought him once already and got the better of him, so Wah went after him, and it was the nothing play, really, and he challenged you, right?
Well, what would happen was I fought him once exactly earlier in the game, exactly in that same spot.
Yeah.
And, lefty scoring up with the righty. He had his lead hand. I grabbed his lead hand, and he pulled his arm out of his jersey and got loose. So he got a few extra licks that I wasn't overly happy about. So stoppage happened in the exact same spot. I wanted to fight him again. It was MS night. My sister was in town. My sister has MS. So I was like, I got to put on a show, So square off, exact same thing. He leads with the same hand, and I grab on, and he tries to pull it out again, and I let go, and his arm got caught. And that's when I went in and just tried to tag him as quickly as I could. And I was mic'd up.
You were
mic'd up too.
I thought it's cool, man. Yeah, it's really cool.
But I gotta watch that.
So he comes back to the bench, and everybody's chirping him. All the boys on our team, are chirping him, and he's literally losing his mind. They sent him home.
Oh, I know they did, yeah.
Torts sent him home.
Really?
Back
he
to Tampa,
couldn't calm him down. He's got him by his jersey. He's pulling him down, telling him to sit down. He's in his face. I'm like, Torts gonna get killed, man. This guy's he's gonna pick Torts up. And
how about Torts never calmed him down. The guy was looking over, and he
couldn't. He was doing this.
Giving this
can't do
TV
that.
timeout. This is the third period. I'm not getting another shift. He's probably not. He's definitely not getting another shift. He hops over the bench, and he's now in front of the bench, you're fucking dead. This and that. I'm like, dude, you're relax.
Relax, Jakey. Relax, baby. Relax,
so then they kept showing on the Jumbotron. That was the last game he played in Tampa. They ended up sending him home. He just, he was just, obviously, it's a pride thing, right? No one likes to lose, right? I mean, but
I think if they didn't show it 100 times,
they were just,
the place was just going you don't see a lot of those.
I can't believe Philly did that.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
They hate that, and the best is the ding, ding, ding.
Oh yeah,
right, yeah.
And back then the linesmen kind of they knew it was coming. So sometimes what we've talked about before too is if say there's a scrum and you get in there and you do drop your gloves. I don't like when the linesman jump in there because you might get suckered.
Right.
If the other guy's got his gloves off, at least they used to let. If you're going to do it, do it. That's what they would say. Go if you're going. Go if you're going. If not, break it up. But speaking of all this fighting, how many mouthpieces do you have?
Did Lots tell you that?
And Proby. Yeah. I'm going to throw them both right out of the bus here.
They think I get so much crap for it. They think it's hilarious, but it's become this ongoing thing this year with my mouth guard and they say whenever I get pissed I put in the mouth guard, and so everyone's doing that. I don't know. I guess I wear a mouth guard. I go through them because I'm always chewing on them, doing all that stuff. So I'm getting new orders in. And they're like, "Oh, here we go." So
I was wondering what that was all about.
Protect the jibs and the jaw, man.
Yeah, you got to. Well, JVR has always got his hanging out.
I know it's an accessory for him.
It's like gum, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
They said to make sure we brought up your mouth guards.
Yeah, they love it.
That's great.
Yes.
We wanted to talk a little about. A couple of coaches you've had in the past. Bruce, there it is. Boudreaux there. Sounds like he was a pretty solid coach.
I like Bruce a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He was. We got along great. I think, it it was tough when he left too, because we had a good relationship, and I thought he understood me as a player and kind of what I brought, and I liked him a lot. And kind of a tough situation he was in there in Vancouver, and how that was handled.
Yeah.
That was real
kind of
tough
hard
to
to see, honestly, just because
Poor guy.
he cares so much about his players and the organization. He's kind of one of those guys that do anything for you kind of deal. So that was hard to see, but I'm sure he'll, whatever he ends up doing, I don't know if he's doing like he's on TV now or something like that.
He might go back because he was working with NHL Network and
Yeah,
stuff. And,
that's right.
And even we were actually out. We followed you guys. We were in Seattle.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was
in Van, and even talk just kind of mentioned. He was like, I felt bad. Like the guy, people hate me because I'm like, well, they'll get over that. Like, but it wasn't like it was Talk's fault.
Yeah.
Right.
He obviously was really loved there. I've never heard anything, especially from like equipment guys, about a bad word about this guy. Like, they say he's just a great dude.
It really is. Yeah, guys liked him. When I was in Minnesota too, and but yeah, that was a tough situation for him.
You know what? It just popped in my head too is when they did the HBO when I can't remember who Washington was playing.
Capitals.
The poor guy
with
like,
barbecue
clean
sauce.
him up. He's got sauce on his face right out of the meal room. I'm like, someone help the guy. Like, how do you not clean him up? Poor guy. He's like a grandpa sitting
it was
there.
great
I don't think he cared.
No,
he obviously didn't care. And then he's got food all over his face, and then they show him with his grandkids, and he's got the ice, just eating ice cream. Just like a cuddly bear. This guy. But he just looks like he'd be a fun guy to talk to. He was Homer's roommate.
I didn't know
They
that.
played pro together, He was a really skilled player.
Wait, is that in the American League?
American League.
He's a skilled guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Scorer, right?
AHL
Very.
player, right?
Yeah, he said he was really, really good. He said he was a little messy though.
A little
He said he was
messy?
a slob. Is what he
Really?
said, yeah. But he liked him. So he was a good dude.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he said he was a good dude.
So then you got picked up on waivers, and I think you only played a handful of games or two in Chicago. There, Jeremy Colleton is head coach. I actually played junior hockey with Jeremy. So
you played with him?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
I know him. How was he as a coach? I know he's like a really young guy coming to a tough situation.
Right. Especially that locker room too. Like
right.
legends in the
I
was going to ask you.
It's gonna be tough.
Dunks and those guys. Like, so I'm sure it was probably a little, I don't know, intimidating. I don't know if he'd say that, but like, I think just being such a young coach, and I didn't know him like that. I wasn't there that long. It was just a little stint. So, but he was, when I was there, he was great. Like he was straightforward. He'd tell you, here's the plan, if you're in or out, and he was straightforward in that sense. So, but again, like that had to be a tough locker
really
room
tough,
and situation too, kind of where they were at as a team, and compared to kind of where they were before, when they were on that run. So, but yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, he was always like a real pro, even at a young age, like just a student of the game. So I wasn't surprised that he climbed the ladder in the coaching department so quickly. But I was kind of surprised for him to get that job, like at that age. In that situation, it was just like probably not
Maybe
really
not
a fair
the right
situation.
time.
Yeah, exactly. But
No,
I guess you can't say no when you get those opportunities either, right? You
have to take those.
You take them.
For you, like what a locker room. You got Kane or Taser, and like you said, Donks. Like what a group, man.
Oh, it was
Watching Kane, like decent mitts. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I taught him. Yeah.
taught him that poise with the puck.
You see where he slows down on the breakaway. That's me. So.
Right.
It's funny how we were taught. We always say, I was like, how much fun would hockey be being a forward where you could come across the blue line and no one's jumping at you?
Well,
you
can't
get
hit
all
him,
that.
like-
You can hit him,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can.
You can try.
Yeah.
But even in practice, I remember it was just something like you don't see. Obviously, you play against him, but it's different when he's able to have that total freedom in practice and do whatever he wants. And
Silly.
I got
pretty special. Like,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I
player.
became pretty good buddies with him, worked with him in USA Hockey, and man, like just watching him practice, like you got to do it a lot. But I always tell people, they ask about him, I'm like, just it's amazing.
It is,
and Jonathan Quick was another guy, like watching him in practice. You're like, dude, you don't have to try that hard. Like, like he's in his spot, he's all over the place. I'm like,
Athleticism,
man, wow. But I never thought I'd see Cater at another jersey though. That's for sure.
I don't think anybody did really.
Yeah, no, and it actually almost looked like it fit. I guess because it's New York.
Yeah,
It's a big
Showtime.
city, Showtime.
Yeah,
right.
like so. He rocks it well.
But old G came through with 3 points last night though.
Wow, he's having such a good year.
Wow,
No kidding.
Eh?
Last 2 games he got 7 points. I think.
Wow,
Player of the week.
Maybe. Let's
Should be.
tell
it's gotta be.
NHL Player of the Week.
Yeah.
No, he's having a great year.
Yeah, he is.
We had him on the show a few weeks ago, and you know G a little bit, so he's like, he's texting, he's like, hey, let's shoot for this day, and he goes, oh man, wait, it's our father's trip or something. I'm like, all right, just let me know what works. So then he goes, sorry, bro. He goes, I've been busy scoring and stuff, sorry. Like,
That's great.
no, that's just cheap.
Also true, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also true.
right.
Very true. But yeah, he's the man. He's having a good year. Now all of a sudden they've kind of snuck up to 3 5 baller, 3 5 points. That's our stat guy.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but we have a trade.
Oh, we're announcing a trade.
Flyers have acquired Brendan Lemieux from the Kings, and they sent McEwen to LA.
Whoa, wow.
Mac,
really?
my boy, man.
Oh wow.
It's not official yet, but Pierre LeBrun reported it.
Okay. Macker.
Remember that? No, I love Macker, man.
Yeah,
That
he's
sucks.
one of the good ones. That's
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
know, right?
is,
Yeah,
man.
tough,
Dang.
tough blow, and
That's a tough one.
didn't he just get activated back
Yeah.
today too? Yeah.
Flyers are getting a 5th-round pick out of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Mackers, we love you. He knows
Yeah.
we love him, man.
Yeah,
He's
no
my
doubt.
boy,
Yeah,
man.
he's-
Gosh darn it.
At least he gets some grit in return.
Yeah, you get
Right?
some
Yeah.
grit, but you know
Yep.
what's funny? That great picture baller. I think you posted one time where TK and Lautcher leaned over the bench and they wanted to kill him when he played for the Rangers, I think, right?
Oh,
Years
yeah,
ago?
I remember
It was
that, yeah.
great picture. Well, he's in your room now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
well,
the call. I'm getting the
He's
call.
I mean, obviously Macker. I mean, he's a Flyer too.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
he was a throwback.
100%.
Yeah,
He's also
Man.
just such a good teammate, such a good kid. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
we
that
we
sucks.
connected a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
This past couple of years. So yeah, that's sad that he's gone for sure. But he'll be just fine. He works extremely hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what? He's going to a playoff team. They got a good team, man. They're making a push there.
Yep.
So
yeah. No, he'll fit in. He'll fit in
yeah,
there
he'll
nicely.
fit in there.
I think
Yeah, they could
Brennan
use. They
will
could use
fit
a guy
in,
like
too.
that.
Yeah, you're right.
What's
He's-
that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I
you
was
said-
saying I think Brennan's gonna fit in just.
Oh,
fine
yeah,
there, too.
100%, yeah.
just the way he plays and
Totally.
what he brings.
Torts might have
little
had
different
some-
type of
Torts
toughness.
might have had something
Right.
to do with that one.
Yeah,
Bring
I'm
a
sure.
little bit more in.
Yeah,
sure.
hey,
Good. That's
building
good.
out that foundation we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and he's still obviously got toughness. I mean, that level of toughness, and you got D'Lo and yourself. I mean, it's not like you can only have so many guys in the lineup
Yeah,
like that,
right.
anyways, right? But
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's a tough part of the business, and
It is, yeah. That's stuff he can't control, and good luck to him. I'll have to give him a call after
Yeah,
this.
for
obviously,
sure,
and,
definitely.
yeah, wish him the best.
Yep.
He'll do well.
Speaking of Big Mac, I was going to bring it up. Are you a big golfer?
Yeah, me and my buddies, we golf quite a bit in the summer.
I heard it was quite the foursome there with Pro V, D'Lo, and Big Mac back at Trump there.
Yeah.
I won't get into specifics,
Yeah.
but not really you, but more D'Lo and Big Mac.
Yeah, yep.
He said,
we'll
I'm
leave
not
it at
sure
that.
what we were doing around the 13th, 14th hole by that time, but it was a good day. He said,
Over-
it was a really good
overserved,
day. I played. It was funny. I think it was a few days after that. Provi and I, it was one of those nice days. The weather was sick, so I play golf a lot with Provi, and he was like, "Dude, I wish you could have been with us the other day." He's like, he told me I was like, "Oh, what a foursome!" I'm like, "And you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But I laughed the whole time because it was great."
Those
But-
guys are great, especially when they get together.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
D'Lo and Mac.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's one of.
I was like,
two
damn.
guys there.
I got I golf with Mac. When
seen
you
his
guys
swing?
agree,
It is
have I
wild.
seen it,
Is that-
dude?
He's a good golfer,
Yeah.
but I've never seen someone hit a ball so far.
I know,
Really,
and
eh?
Yeah.
I showed you that slow mo because I
Well,
played
yeah,
with him
you
for like
did.
4 or 5 days in a row, and I'm like, I got a video of your swing for my old man. My old man's really into golf. I'm like, this thing's unbelievable. I did a slow mo and a regular one. It swings as hard as you can.
Really, eh?
But it, like you said, it's in play.
He wonders,
kind of
like-
like yourself.
Oh yeah, sounds like it. Yeah. Oh
No,
man.
but he crushes the ball.
Oh,
Crushes
man.
the ball.
That's
He
awesome.
wonders why his back hurts after.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
You kidding?
Oh man.
Yeah.
What was the biggest reason for you signing in Philly? Was it Chuck or just Flyers or your brand?
Yeah, I think. Well, it's funny because I took that year off, and then I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, and what that would look like. But obviously, I knew Chuck was the GM here, and we had a history. He drafted me, and kind of knew who I was and what I would bring, and so I was just looking for an opportunity, and it happened to be Philly. I was like, that's great.
Yeah,
because
right.
I feel like my style of play meshes really well with how the city appreciates that stuff, and obviously how the team wants to play, and so I think that decision was easy. I mean, but getting the opportunity in the first place was just kind of get your foot in the door after taking that year off, and so
Was this after the bubble?
it was, yeah. So the year after,
I think
after the
I
bubble.
read. I don't know if someone said, but you were like actually contemplating retirement.
Yeah, I was honestly.
Man,
I
thank
stopped-
God you didn't, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
thanks,
you're,
yeah, I
no,
appreciate-
you're a really good player, man. I
Thanks.
mean that honestly, but anyway, sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I just that was a really challenging year, the year prior to that.
Yeah.
Just within Minnesota, and then kind of the situation, and I only played, I think, 12 games that year. 6 for Minnesota, and then 6 for the Hawks. So, and then obviously the bubble hit, the pandemic, all that stuff, and
Oh, that was great times.
yeah. Don't miss that.
Oh man.
When we went back to Edmonton, all the guys were like, "Oh boy, flashbacks." Yeah.
Yeah, right, for sure. Oh man,
But so yeah, I went to the bubble with the Hawks, and good experience. Obviously, it's not an ideal situation. Didn't play, and I went to camp, and it just seemed something was off. Like I just didn't. You put so much into it, and you kind of get nothing out of it, and it was just one of those situations where I knew I needed to take a step back and just kind of regroup. And I know I've said this before, but like a mental and physical just reset almost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know whether that looked like getting back into the game. I don't know whether that was like, maybe push to a different career path. I wasn't sure. And a few months went by, and of not playing that year, and I started to get that itch back and that fire, and that I kind of had that break that I needed almost, and then I went into it going, okay, what does this look like then? What does getting back into it look like? And had my agent reach out to teams, and obviously Chuck was willing to give me the opportunity, which was awesome, and grateful for that for sure.
Yeah,
And so, and then coming into that last year, I wasn't sure, honestly, I was like, I'm just happy I'm going to be playing again, because I obviously took that full year off, and just wanted to compete again, have that camaraderie with my teammates. And that was the biggest
for
thing
sure.
too that I missed, was just being around the guys, and fighting for each other, and that competitiveness. So but yeah, and then getting that opportunity to be in the opening night lineup last year was really special. It was some guys might not be whatever, just another opening night, but
Right.
just kind of going through that
don't take it
that
for
process.
granted.
No,
Yeah,
exactly. I was just it was pretty special. So
That's awesome.
Well,
That's
good for
really
you. Good
cool.
for you
Yeah,
to
good for you.
acknowledge, you were not feeling quite on point.
thanks. Appreciate it.
Taking a step back, I think that's a huge. It's a tough thing to do, but it's like it's necessary,
Yeah.
and the fact that you were able to regroup and be resilient and actually come back and
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
come
I
back
didn't realize
stronger.
that.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, neither did
That's
I.
awesome. That's a great story.
Thanks.
Yeah, because I think a lot of guys probably feeling the same way, and maybe not necessarily just in hockey, but just athletes just like that. We gotta just battle through, and we're all good all the time, and for you to sit back and reflect and
Right.
is a powerful move. Honestly, as a human,
Thanks.
and a hockey player too. So, lesson. There's definitely a huge lesson there for
Yeah.
from people that are struggling out there.
Right.
'Cause, Yeah, it was interesting times. I mean, it's probably a mixture of everything, right? I mean, it's not just
Yeah.
sports. It's the uncertainty of the world, the COVID, the regulations, probably a little bit of everything, right? It's a
Right.
squirrely.
It was
squirrely time.
It was a combination of a lot of things, and but yeah, that was definitely don't miss those times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
right?
no shit.
Gosh, no.
You and me both.
Yeah.
I know. That was the year where I didn't go back, and man, I remember watching with Elvis, and the guys, the Flyers team anyway, they were gone 6-7 weeks, like, and my son was like, "I'm sorry you're not there with the boys," and I'm like, "Buddy, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
like
right.
I'm where I'm supposed to be right now." I had never been around, but the travel is tough in hockey, but the most would be 10 days, and that was tough when you have kids because you go home and they look different. I couldn't even imagine a lot of the guys had kids.
Oh,
Man, they
I
went
know.
7 weeks without seeing
Guys
their
who made
kids.
it to
I don't
all the
think
way
people,
Yeah, right.
they make all this money. I don't give a crap about making money. You miss your family and your kids,
Yeah.
and that was tough, man.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah, a lot of respect for those guys who went through that. For the full
That long,
however
man.
many
That is
months it
serious.
was. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, it's got to wear on you.
Well, good for you, man. What
Yeah.
a cool story. I
thanks.
didn't know that.
Appreciate it.
I was asking because I wasn't sure. I just thought maybe I didn't know the whole story, but that's great.
Yeah,
really
no
cool.
doubt.
Thanks.
You have any charities or anything in the community that you want to plug or?
No personal charities, honestly. Back home there's a few with my church and Coco's Heart Dog Rescue back home. I've always, that's where we got our family dog. So
Okay, all right,
cool.
nice.
yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
no personal charities, but maybe next time if I'm on again, then I'll have one. But
Yeah.
All right, cool.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you carving out the time.
No, thanks
I know
a lot.
it's an interesting time of the season, and
What time
make
is
some
it?
space.
I'm hoping we're gonna keep you here. We got a couple hours.
Yeah,
So I don't think
yeah.
Tort's letting anything happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
But if it were to, best of luck to you, and then just re-sign back here.
Yeah, no,
All right,
right.
because
Go win
you're
cup
a
and come back.
flyer for sure. Seriously, you really are.
Thank
We
you.
enjoy your game and enjoy watching you play. I know Philadelphia does as well.
Yep.
The fans.
Yeah, and your teammates.
And
We
your
talked to a few
teammates.
guys that said you're
Every
a
guy.
supreme teammate and
Oh,
he's a
that's
great
good to
guy.
hear.
So
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
100%.
Thanks.
Important
Sorry,
stuff.
we're gonna pump your tires.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Get
really
you
did,
rocking.
though. Honest to God,
Yeah.
they were.
Well, that's nice to hear. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah,
Good
so
man.
good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having me, boys.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
it.
All right, big thank you to Nick Seeler.
Seals, what a good
awesome
man.
dude. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
man.
Nice to finally get him in here. Been chasing after him for a while.
I know. Such a flyer player.
Yeah.
Type guy. I think.
Yeah, just
The way
a
he plays the game.
good, grounded human, good attitude towards hockey and life. I feel like he's got his head on straight.
I think he does, and I'm happy to see he didn't get traded.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of trades, Nas, you're a little bit unfocused there earlier in the pre.
When am I not?
Yeah, missed a couple
I did.
trades.
I forgot to mention our good buddy Ghost,
Yes.
who is traded to, up there with Boston as the top team
Yeah.
on the eastern side here. He's going to help their power play.
Yes, he will.
There were reports they were looking for a right-handed D. We had heard Tony D'Angelo going back there. Probably Flyers management didn't want to make that move because then they look.
It would have looked a little shanty.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked good. So I think that fell through. But good for Ghost. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
I like that move. I think he's
he's-
going to do really well there.
played so well since he got moved, and it should work out well for him.
Yep.
He's especially in power play. I mean, he's obviously a specialist that way. So
Yeah.
good for him.
Yep. And then another big one. Well, Jacob Chikrin.
Yes, to Ottawa.
Yeah.
they're making a push here.
Yeah, I
we
like that
talked about
pickup.
that. Yeah,
We talked about it before. I think if he can stay healthy, he's a great
Yep.
addition. I mean, big
Yeah, for
body.
sure.
Obviously, can be a big part of that team.
yeah, 100%.
And then since we recorded the pre, there's been a couple other moves in
Yes.
Flyers land.
Yeah, Patrick Brown
Yes.
went to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get in. I mean, I'm not saying that's a total needle mover, but it's it's a little depth for them and probably a fourth line. He works his bag off. So they're trying to make it.
Yeah.
They're I don't know how far baller would we say they were? 5 points, something like that. So they're pushing for that last wild card spot, and they're hot right now. So.
They are, yeah. Keep carrying the load there and putting up points.
Definitely.
And I correct myself. I said a couple. I mean, he was the only one since because obviously Zach McCune was talked about earlier.
Right.
But JVR was an interesting one. There was a lot of talk about him moving, and then obviously couldn't.
How do you not get him moved?
Just asking too much, obviously, right? I mean, how else?
I mean, we're not in there.
It?
We're not in the war room, so we don't know. But like, for his sake, take anything at this point because now you get nothing.
I know. I mean, I think they were looking for a third rounder. I mean, I think, like you said, you come into crunch time like that, you take anything, right? I think for his sake, for the cap's sake.
Do it. If anything.
For just moving a contract, right?
I mean, I don't know. Not that JVR wants to go anywhere, but I mean, his deal's up. You're obviously not re-signing him because you haven't.
Yeah.
You probably would. So get something.
Yeah.
Get something for him and, give him a chance to go play in the playoffs and try to win somewhere. But glad to have Reamer still here.
Yeah.
Great guy, friend of ours. But, wow.
Yeah. Well, maybe in your next lifetime you could be GM. And then you can pull the trigger on these moves.
I'll just be pulling the tricks.
A little trigger happy up there.
A little tricky. You just made a trade. I want to make another one. I know it's not easy. We know it's not easy. It's not an easy job, but that one seems to be like someone would have taken it.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
You know what time it is, Nast?
What time is it? Clear questions.
Yes,
Brought
it is.
By Clear Rum. Let's do it.
You got baller.
We got one from Greg Royer Designs over on Instagram. He said, "Can you explain more about the money on the board when a player plays a former team or a milestone game?"
Yeah, Riggs, so it's funny how that's really evolved because even when I was there, it's been almost 3 years now. They would find any reason to put your name on the board for money for the fine fund, which is, goes to the year-end party usually. So it's really a lot of fun. It's nothing to do with gambling or anything like that. It's just if you're from a certain place, like we play Winnipeg, Raleigh's got to put money on the board. But then it turned to, well, didn't you fight Cote and Derek? We're in Toronto. You fought him before. You got to put money on it. It would always be guys' numbers with a question mark.
Totally.
And I just remember guys looking up going, why is my name up there tonight? Why is my number up there tonight? But that's kind of like what it is.
Yeah, well, it started, like you said, with having a guy playing for another team. He puts money on the board, and then it evolved to anything.
Milestones.
Milestones.
Which,
he played 500 games, 1,000 games. Yeah,
first
game.
games, and we always, as a staff, as trainers, we always liked it because guys would actually throw us up there a lot of times, which was cool. To get that cash. We didn't put that into the fine fund. We put it in our pocket.
Right in your pocket.
We put it in our pockets. Yeah. But it was funny. It's funny how they would find reasons to put
I got out of control. You had a family member in the stands, throw up 1,000 or whatever.
Isn't your brother's friend here? Put it up. So that's basically what it is.
Talk about though, what does that money go towards? Because growing up, I always thought that went to the player of the game, but that's not the case.
No, it goes for the team at the end of the day. It's so at the end of the year,
team parties.
Yeah, team parties. They go into that for it. That's all it is. And then if it's left over, then it's in there, the kitty for next season. But usually you get through that.
Oh yeah, one party.
Yeah, the year-end party. That money was gone.
Tim Tobin over on Twitter.
Oh, Timmy.
When are you guys going to have a Nasty Knuckles ice hockey game? I think that's a pretty good idea.
It's a great idea.
Great question.
We got to get on that.
We do. We have to organize something like that, like ASAP.
ASAP, yeah. We've done the ball hockey, which we plan on doing again, but I like the ice hockey. You're thinking like 5-on-5, or thinking like 3-on-3, skill it up.
Kind of like we had that. We played in that thing with the Snyder Foundation.
Oh, so that
was actually fun.
2 or 3 cross ice games, 3-on-3 or whatever. Yeah, I like that. Get more bodies moving, a little more skill, just different. It's more like pond hockey,
not
right?
really skill for me, but yes, it was fun. It's a lot of fun, but we do need to do that, and
it's a great.
Need to get our one of our sponsors, Tovey, involved with that.
Maybe get a couple of former guests involved.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Good idea.
It's a great idea. Let's do it now.
Get the Tovey stick.
I'm going to lean on you to plan this event.
I got to do everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're-
Okay.
you're good
I
at
will. I will. Like I said, we'll get Tovey involved.
Yep.
Maybe I think people are getting that stick in their hand and feeling it.
Yep.
They'll be pretty impressed.
Let's do it, Nast.
Let's
We're on
do it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
That's a great question.
For sure. We appreciate that one, Timmy.
Yep.
We're on it. Stay tuned. I think that's a wrap, Nast.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
What number?
Number 107 in the book.
Wow. 107. All right.
Can you believe it?
I cannot.
Neither can I.
Oh, no.
All right, knuckleheads. Until next week for 108, be sure to tune in. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Until then, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.